It's been a week since the deadly shooting in Fredericton took 4 lives, and tonight we are learning more about the man who was arrested. We're also able to share new details about what exactly happened that day. The CBC's Kayla Hounsell has been following this story for us in Fredericton, and she joins us now. So, Kayla, let's start with the suspect. What more do we know about him?
Well, Andrew, our colleagues at CBC New Brunswick have found Matthew Raymond was active on Twitter for about 4 years using the name Colt C8. And that's the name of a powerful military-style carbine. About 4 years ago, when 3 RCMP officers were shot and killed in Moncton, he tweeted back at someone who had said that the suspect's name should not be trending on Twitter, agreeing with that sentiment and calling the events a sad couple of days. We've also found an account on an online platform for purchasing digital video games that shows that he played at least 479 hours of a first-person shooter game over about 5 years. Now, that same account states that as of April 17th, he has been offline, which is around the same time he reportedly moved out of his mother's home and into this apartment complex here behind me, which is where the deadly attack took place.
And Kayla, we're also learning more about exactly how this tragedy unfolded from court documents. Can you tell us about that?
Well, these court documents were publicly available and obtained by the CBC from the Fredericton Provincial Courthouse, and then they were placed under a publication ban. So the CBC went to court along with other media outlets and argued against that. And today, a New Brunswick judge lifted that order, giving us a much more detailed timeline of how this tragedy unfolded. Constables Rob Costello and Sarah Burns are the first to respond to the call. They're followed closely by Sergeant Jason Forward, who stopped briefly to ask a passerby some questions. Costello and Burns went into a driveway by Building C. That's where the suspect lived. When Forward heard the gunshots, he rounded the corner and saw Costello and Burns lying motionless on the ground. Another man, Donnie Robichaud, was lying nearby. The gunfire was coming from apartment 11 on the top floor, so Forward and another officer headed there. Joy Sullivan lives on the top floor.
Knock, knock, knock. I run, looked out my peephole. I saw the 2 men on knees with their guns toward door 11. I run like mad back to get dressed. And while I was in there, my door was busted open by another policeman.
Another officer outside the building saw the gunman point a long gun out the window and fired at him. The shooter is hit in the stomach.
These 2 guys get up off of their one knee and never turned their head away from that door 11. Their guns right on them. I'm ready to be with the other policemen escorted out. They went trot, trot, trot backwards, the 2 of them with their shoulders right together to protect me. They're all shielded in the front, but they never turned their head around it. I could just see from the little bit on the side. And they trot, 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 the 2 of them sideways while I'm bent over, and the other cop is holding that door open and registered. There's a senior coming down, and that's how they protected me going out.
Matthew Raymond was arrested just after 9:30. He was taken to hospital with serious injuries.
Wow, and so Kayla, looking forward, there are big preparations underway ahead of a regimental funeral for the fallen officers. Can you tell us what's going to happen tomorrow?
Andrew, thousands of emergency responders from across North America are expected to attend this regimental funeral. It will not be open to the public because the arena where it is to be held can only hold around 4,300 people. So organizers say, of course, the priority is the families of the fallen officers, as well as the Fredericton Police Force and other law enforcement personnel. They're actually arriving at the Fredericton airport today, and local residents here are actually showing up to offer them rides anywhere they wanted to go.
There's so many people that want to help. Those that have a connection to the 2 fallen officers, and those that have just the connection to the city. So it's one of these things that just snowballs. So we do what everyone does in 2018. You put it out on social media and see what happened. And it's floodgates just opened up almost immediately.
So certainly an entire city grieving here in Fredericton, Andrew, and Fredericton police say they want people to help celebrate the lives of their officers, so there will be public viewing areas, and they're also inviting people to line the parade route for the procession tomorrow as officers march to the arena.
Okay, Kayla Hounsell in Fredericton, thanks for this. CBC News will broadcast tomorrow's funeral procession and service from noon until about 2 p.m. That's on both CBC News Network and the main network. There will also be extensive coverage on CBC Radio and online at cbc.ca, on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.